Mo san jo me shira paro chi ma ke mi ke nam ke
Then third
go
one
ni so
is
so
the
ran
debut
ri ye
of
she chu yu du
exaltation.
sung ge
Very
he
hard to
im ro
pronounce
cha
only.
ze he
Exaltation.
ro.
So Tibetan word is gotoki. Go means that like um, excitement or exaggeration or making things bigger or the puff up. And to is arrogant and like a pride. So this one is interesting one, especially we have to watch out as a spiritual practitioners. So what did she say about this? This is a mental attachment in which one delights and exalts, thereby giving light to the great joy. She gives some example. Worldly prestige, gain, or fame, a large retinue, seeing the face of the deity, pacifying the pangs of disease by subduing demons with the power of spells. All these meditational experiences, or like a rising of clairvoyance in vivid dream. So we have a very nice, very spiritual dream, sometimes. Oh, we are getting somewhere. Great, that sort of thing. We have to watch out. That's the devil. And so delighted and exalted in any of these causes, great arrogance and pride, and they become an obstacle on the path to freedom. So it is called the devil, right? So I heard all these mountain yogi and yoginis in a Himalayan cave or something like that. So that's demons, of course, beside the ego grasping, that's the root of the demon. But beside that, the last demon they need to cut through is this one, this kind of spiritual pride. This is very different from this so-called divine pride, and seeing oneself as a deity or pure being. And this is more like arrogant and puffed up kind of feeling. Am I the only one who knows this? Yeah.
Yeah, just that the Vajra pride. Sometimes it's a bit tricky. Sometimes you can, especially when you're having some good feelings, then you get attached to it and you do make a sort of devil out of it. It's like the shadow of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a tricky one.
You always have to maintain this awareness, appearance, emptiness, emptiness, illusionary appearance. In conjoined with this, things are important in the Vajrayana practice, like pure being, like of course, one of them three is the awareness of being as a pure being. Idam, deities, for example, to cut through this ordinary appearance. So we have such a strong habit of I'm this body, I'm a body, mind, I'm nothing but the here, this one. I have this name and this hairstyle and face and this and that. So much anti-identification we have. So in order to cut through those habitual patterns, we have to have a real kind of that sort of practice, not just resting peacefully in the La La Land cannot cut through. So anyway, yeah, then as you said, tricky, without the understanding of emptiness coming to the true nature. So we have to conjoin everything in our practice. Okay, so anybody else have an example of the level of exaltation you're working on, or you have experience? Everybody, last time I said, gods and demons are human condition. So we never take them personally, so to speak. Don't beat up ourselves. We should not do that. So we take full responsibility, but without take them personally. Yeah, so it's good. Magic will tell you some antidote, some suggestion. All right, so anybody else? This one's really interesting one. Myself, I found, as a practitioner, but in a sense, we have to really pay attention. Nowadays, like a media or something, I started talking about all these organizations and, teachers, Tibetan teachers, and not necessarily only Tibetan teachers, but like all these supposed to be a great teachers and facing all these some kind of things, So really have to, as a practitioner, we have to look into our mind, and especially this one, have to work with first face them, and really work them with love and compassion and awareness. Just as we did last week or a couple of weeks ago, we did this bringing love, awareness, and emptiness, compassion, and toward this human condition and demons and gods. If we don't have that, then just hoping everything evaporates just by doing the so-called spiritual practice, then I'm not sure. Some people can maybe do it, but I can't. All right, so let's see what she said about that. So practice as if it were an illusion or a dream. Rest in the state of emptiness, free of all dualistic extremes of the mind. In this way, as you meditate in the illusory, dreamlike nature of all phenomena within great emptiness, free of extremes, and integrated it into the path, the dreamlike levels of exaltation will be suffered, and the welfare of all illusionary dreamlike beings will come to pass. Noble son. So that's a suggestion.
Du sung ge yum ro cha ze he ro